as we always do, find yourself very present here in this space that you have created for yourself. Bringing your awareness to your breath, bringing your focus to your body shape and how your body feels today. Very nice. Go ahead and allow your eyes to blink open on your next inhale. And let's start with a little bit of neck stretching here. So left ear, left shoulder, hand on top of the head, and reach super duper along with those fingertips. If this is enough for you, this is perfect. If not, go ahead and wrap your arm around behind you. Bring your ear down. Feeling that nice stretch. Let's go to the other side. So unwind that arm first, let go of the head, bring it right over to the other side, and just take that same shape. So play around with it. Maybe you just bring the fingertips to the mat. Feels kind of good. Good, and then go ahead and release the hand down. So your hands can rest on your lap or anywhere that feels good. Let's find some degrees of movement for the neck. So let's look over our right shoulder. So begin with just swiveling the head, looking straight out from the shoulder. Then I want you to bring your eyeballs down as if you're trying to look behind your shoulder and see if maybe you can encourage your head to go just a tiny bit more. Now, working only within your range of motion here, don't go too far. But maybe just kind of looking at the back of your shoulder. And then come back across. Same thing, other side. You're looking over your shoulder and then take the eyes over towards that far left corner, looking down and behind you. I think we all have kids here. We know this look. Comes in very handy with a puppy. Come back through center, and then let's tilt the head back. So bringing the head or the chin up, open up through the throat. So this is one of your chakras, right? One of your 7 chakras. And this actually gives you open speech, the throat area. So lifting and opening. Take a nice big breath. And then as you exhale, take the chin, draw it down, and then tuck that chin into the collarbone and feel the back of the neck lengthen. Let's go back through center. Let's find our way to our tabletop shape. So any way that feels good for you. Doing a little bit of hand and wrist exercise before we get started. Make sure you guys can see. So I want you to spread the webbing on your fingers nice and wide, right? So spread them out so that you can feel the skin stretch, and then and lower, lift. So you're coming up onto the ridge of the fingers there. So the fingers stay down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe your thumb touches the mat still, and then lowering down. And then try to do this without rocking, you don't want to rock into it. You want to stay nice and steady. Just lifting up. You're going to start to feel your forearms start to light up. We're going to do just about 5 more just like this. So lift and lower, lift and lower. This is really great for that gardening. All right, perfect. And then just sit back, shake it out. Reach your right hand in front of you, fingers point down, palm is away, and use your left hand to draw those hands back towards you. Ooh, that feels kind of good. Nice. And then just flipping other side, same stretch there. All right, let's find our way back to that tabletop. This time we're going to turn our hands out to the side. So we're like little ducks here. And then from here, we're going to go around in a circle. So going over towards your left, pushing forward and around. So try to do this with straight arms. See if you can resist the urge to bend into the elbow. And then let's go the other way. So wrist mobility is just as important as ankle mobility. We already did that once this week, so. Moving on, one body part at a time. All right, let's find our way back to our tabletop shape. Let's take a few rounds of cat-cow. Let's get the spine nice and warmed up. Press into the mat, round through that Halloween kitty shape. Tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, lift your tailbone, drop your belly, and the heart comes up between the shoulders on your inhale. Exhale to round. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Inhale to lift. Nice, last two right here. Take your own version if you want to move a little slower or a little faster. And then find your way into your tabletop. We're coming down onto our forearms here. So finding a little bit of a puppy pose first. So your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Your hands are out in front of you. And then I want you to walk your knees back so that your head can drop between your shoulders and you can kind of slide down, forehead comes to the mat here. So this really gets a nice stretch through the fronts and the sides of the shoulders. Feels kind of good. Beautiful. Let's come back up. Find your way into a forearm plank from here. So step the toes out behind you. And here we are, forearm plank. Spread the fingers wide, place them down on the mat, and then zip up the belly. We're going to be here for about 30 seconds. So that's about 3 rounds of breath. I want you to peel the shoulder blades away and puff your heart through the back and then up towards the sky. Zip your belly button in, but reach your tailbone long towards your heels. We're almost there. One more breath. Inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to lower down with the hips, release the toes, and lift the heart. This is a great lower back strengthener. We're going to curl those toes, find our way back into that plank, and then lower down. You can keep your toes curled under if it's not too much of a bend. Otherwise, you can lower all the way down, release the feet, lift the heart. If you're keeping your toes curled, kind of looks like this. Lift up, zip it up. Last one, back to that 30 seconds. Looking straight down between the hands. Last exhale, lower all the way down. And this time holding in our Sphinx pose, draw the elbows underneath you as you peel the belly button off the mat and look out in front of you. Nice, beautiful. Curl the toes under and then sit back all the way into your child's pose. Take your time getting there towards the back of the mat, child's pose. Forehead comes down, hands reach nice and long out in front of you. Maybe the elbows come to the mat or maybe come up onto spider fingers. Good. Look up towards the top of the mat. Place your hands down and then push yourself back so that you can start to lift the knees off the mat and come into your little ball at the back of the mat. So tiny ball, back of the mat. Heels can stay way up off the mat if that feels good. Or if you have the space, you might put them down. Tuck your chin in and then just melt over the legs. We're going to go ahead and stand up slowly. Fingers come to the mat in front of you. Lift your hips up as you drop your heels down, pausing in your forward fold. Grabbing opposite elbows, keeping the knees bent, and letting the head cradle, or the arms cradle the head as you sway from side to side. And then rolling up, 1, 2, 3, all the way up, slowly releasing the arms, sweeping them up overhead, pressing palms together at the top, taking a little back bend here. And then we're going to sweep all the way down with the hands, forward fold. Right back into that tiny ball, roll onto the balls of the feet, lift the heels, sit down, back in our tiny ball. One more just like that, a little bit faster. I think we know where we're going now. Heels come down, hips come up, forward fold, any arm placement. 2 breaths. Enjoy the fold, enjoy the melt. Sweep the arms, reach all the way up. Inhale, lift, lift, lift. Maybe taking a nice back bend at the top and then melting down, forward fold. Lift the heels, lift the toes, sitting down back into your tiny ball. All right, from our tiny ball, we're going to walk the hands forward, bring the knees down to the mat, walk all the way into your tabletop, curl those toes under, and take 2 rounds of cat and cow. Maybe a little dynamic movement here. See what's showing up for you. A little bit of hip tenderness, perhaps. All right, we're going to curl those toes under, lift the hips up and back. So like you're pushing back to that tiny ball, crouching tiger, sitting way back, and then working the heels towards the mat, pressing the right heel down and then the left. Taking your, oh, I can't say it, taking your DOG for a WALK. Pressing one down and then the other. And then finding your way to that downward dog. So if this down dog is a little bit more narrow than you're used to, that's okay. It's actually pretty good to get a nice stretch here. Good. Look forward between the hands. We're going to reach that right leg up and back and then step in between the hands. So just draw that knee in towards the nose and then step that foot down. So once you get that foot there, let's place that back foot on the mat and come all the way up into extended side angle. Your right elbow comes to your knee and your left arm reaches up. So it's like you're opening a book and peeling up and open. Nice. And we're going to take that action a couple of times just to get some nice oblique and your traps worked here. So we're going to reach down right next to your foot, and then as if you're pulling a lawnmower, you're going to open up, bending the elbow and open up. And then if it's in your practice, you can reach up more with that hand. And then all the way down, reaching down, lift up. Be careful not to dump into that right arm that's on your knee. Down and up. Good. Last one. Down, and we hold in our extended side angle. Maybe slide that finger towards the mat. Now you can always slide down to a block or a book or a coffee table. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and use that hand to draw you up into your warrior 2, finding your left arm goes down, and then bring that left hand all the way up inside the front foot, peel the back heel off the mat and reach up with the right hand. Good. So both hands come down, stepping back into your plank shape. So you can take your vinyasa. Of course, I'm not there to see it, so if you want to skip it, you absolutely can. Maybe you take a modified version with the knees down, lowering down into your chaturanga, scooping up and in into your up dog, and then finding your way to your downward dog. Heels come to the mat. Head is super heavy. Maybe bending the knees and lifting the tailbone up and back. All right, left leg is going to reach up behind you. Knee comes in towards your nose as you roll forward and plant that foot down. Right foot plants, and then left elbow comes to the knee as you open up, find your way to that extended side angle. So this should feel really nice along the lower back here. Actually, today I'm getting a little bit of hip stretch too on the front stretch there. Reach up. Let's start that lawnmower. We're going to reach down, grab onto that lawnmower, Bend the elbow and open up as if you're trying to then elbow into the wall and reach the arm out, down and up, down and up. And then last one, holding this one, reaching up, sliding that left hand down. The top hand is going to slide back as we lift up. Use your core to get you there. Find your way to your warrior two and take a moment here to just settle into this shape. Relax your shoulders. Both hands come down, step back right into your down dog. So just one vinyasa there. We're going to keep adding on here. So right leg is going to reach up and then step forward in between the hands. Find your way into your extended side angle. So the fingertips come inside the foot and you peel open. Inhale up into your warrior two. Nice. And then flip your palm, reverse this warrior. We're going to workshop a little bit into our triangle pose. So I want you to find that warrior two one more time. Exhale. Straighten this front leg. Hinge as if you're reaching past your toes, and then tilt the bottom hand down and the top hand up. So again, if you have a shiny surface, look and see, is that top hand right over the bottom? If you need a little bit extra, you can bring that bottom hand to your knee. Try to keep a little micro bend in the knee so that you're not hyperextending. If you want to come to thigh, it looks like this, same shape. So wherever you happen to be. Good, nice. Now you want to make sure that your shoulders are nice and still here and they're pushing against the back wall. You almost want to feel like you're falling backwards. Let's go ahead and reverse. So you're pressing down through that left foot and then reaching that right arm up and back. Good. And then let's go halfway. So we're hinging, we're reaching, left arm reaches or right arm reaches forward, palm is up, left arm comes overhead. Now, if this is too much, bring that bottom hand down. Otherwise, we're reaching. A little core work. Find your way back into your warrior two. Bend the knee. Whew. That's a lot of work. Back hand comes forward. Let's find that twist. Left hand down, right hand up. Unravel that. Nice, both hands come down, taking your vinyasa in the middle here. So stepping back, chaturanga, up dog if you like it, skip it if you don't, down dog. Right into the second side, left leg reaches up, step between the hands, right into your warrior or into your extended side angle, reaching up. Nice. Find your way to that warrior two. So if you're not feeling that bent knee, you can stay a little higher. Otherwise, really opening up those hips here. Good. Reverse. And then let's find that triangle. So same thing, you're hinging, you're reaching, fingers are extending past your toes, straighten that leg and then hinge down. Let's hold this shape for a moment here. Beautiful. One more breath. Get your shoulders out of your ears. And let's reverse. So this top hand drags you down, bottom hand lifts you up, and then go halfway. Left hand, I hang on to that outer hip. Left hand is reaching. This is how come I don't fall over. I got lots of hip to hold on to. And then reach overhead. There we go. Wish I had one more angle so you could see one squishy line in between. My body is in between two panes of glass. Good, lift all the way back up, warrior two. Let's take it into that twist. Right hand down, left hand up, look up. Perfect. Both hands come down into your down dog, unless you want a bonus vinyasa here, but we're coming into our down dog for 3 breaths. So as always, if you want to work a little stronger, you can always add the vinyasas, the push-ups. If If you want to work a little less strong, a little more restorative, you skip those when we do those. Nod your head yes, shake your head no, pull your shoulders out of your ears. All right, let's keep going. Right leg reaches up and back, and then steps between the hands. Extended side angle, right hand down, left hand up, all the way up. Find your way to our warrior two on the inhale. Exhale, sink low. Inhale, flip the palm reverse. Nice. Exhale, triangle pose, right leg straightens, left arm up. Let's reverse all the way back. Keep that leg straight. We have that core work here. Reach that right arm out and draw that left arm up and over. Now, if you really are stretchy, you're going to interlace the fingers and reach them out like you're pulling that top arm. Not easy. Good, let's find our way back into our warrior two, reset. Hoo-wee. Okay, we're taking this back hand, keep the back foot planted. That back hand is coming down next to that front foot. Bring both hands on either side of that front foot. Now we're going to straighten the leg. If you need to, you can heel toe that back foot a little bit forward so that you can straighten that leg. Now another adjustment, if you feel like you're really still kind of swiveled, you can step that left foot out to the left so that you can bring that left hip around. So now you're nice and square. Your two hip points are even with the front of the mat. And then just melt down over that straight leg. This is called pyramid pose. So you have the same amount of weight in that back foot as you do this front foot, and your nose is melting towards your knee. You're squeezing your inner thighs towards the middle. And you're drawing that right hip back. As a matter of fact, you can take your thumb into the right hip crease and pull it back so that you get that actual feel of doing that. Take a little half lift here. Fingertips come to the mat. Inhale, half lift, and then we're coming into a balance. So if you don't feel very secure balancing today, or you don't want to, you don't have to. You can just come to a forward fold. It's the same thing. It's an inversion we're looking for, an inversion and a balance. Otherwise, we're going to rock forward, bring the back heel off the mat, and slide that back foot up into standing split. So fingertips are about a foot in front of the foot. Your left toes are reaching long. And then if you want the balance, you're going to walk one hand and then the other behind the standing leg. Now, this is a doozy of a pose. So if this does not feel right for you, then you are hanging out in forward fold, which is restorative, but it still gets the same, kind of the same idea here. So wherever you end up, if you're in this balance, go ahead and bring your fingertips to the mat and then bend the back knee, the lifted knee, and we're going to sit down into our Ardha Matsyasana. So you're into your little twisty, you're going to be facing that end of the mat. I just wanted to turn so you can see into our little twisty shape. Take that left arm up and twist and look over the right shoulder, hook the left elbow and look out over the right arm. Ooh-wee. Getting a good workout today. Now that we're almost in July, it might be time to reconsider air conditioning, right? Good. Go ahead and unravel, unwind, and then we're just going to head back to our downward facing dog. So any way that you'd like to get there, stepping back, down dog. All right, we're going to work through that. That's the last part of the sequence, and then we're done with that, and then we head to the ground for our floor work. So left leg reaches up, steps between the hands, extended side angle, back foot plants, left fingertips inside the left foot, knee stacks over the ankle, reach up. Good. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Perfect. Exhale, triangle shape. Good, let's reverse this triangle when we come to our inhale, reaching up, up, up. Perfect. Left arm reaches out, hinge from the hips. Right arm comes up and overhead, maybe interlacing those fingers, and reach long. Not easy. You're stacking your shoulders. That right one's going to want to fold forward. Inhale back into warrior two. Exhale, sink low. Ooh, you're never so happy for warrior two. Right hand comes forward. Place it inside the left foot. Left hand comes down. Again, if you need to take any of those adjustments, so this left leg is straight. If you can't get it straight from where that back foot is, then go ahead and slide that back foot in slightly, usually about 4 inches, and then plant it down. If you need more space, if you're really tight through your hips today, you'll need to walk that right foot out to the right. It doesn't matter how far you go, as long as you can get your hips square, and then melt over the legs. We're going to be here for about 4 rounds of breath. Nice stretch here. Crown of the head is heavy. Don't worry about what's coming next. You do your version of what's working for you today. Maybe putting that left finger or that left thumb in the hip crease and pulling that hip back. That'll slide the right one forward, and then you can melt. Now, if standing split isn't your jam, you're just going to step forward into your forward fold. First, we take a half lift on the inhale, and then see in your mind's eye which pose you're coming to. And then as you exhale, just make it happen. You're coming to standing split, that right foot floats off the mat. Then, once you find your balance, then you bring left and right fingertips off the mat and start to work your nose towards your leg. Good, one more breath here. You can bring your hands down. You can do whatever you need to do here. The leg does not need to go all the way up. And then let's find ourselves into that twisty sit. So you're bending the left knee, bend the right knee and curtsy it behind, and then use your hands and that foot to float down to the mat. Ooh-wee, nice easy twist. Right arm comes up and then scoops to the outside of that left leg. Look over the left shoulder. Good, keep looking over the back shoulder. Go ahead and unwind, unravel. Very good. All right, so just go ahead and unravel the legs and come to a seat with your feet out in front of you. Perfect. We're going to actually work a little bit of some strength here before we wrap things down. So your hands are behind you. Your elbows are squeezing. So I want you to feel like you're peeling your shoulders open, like you're really accentuating your collarbones. Your fingers are down facing the front of your mat. And then from here, we're just going to lower down, bending the elbows. So I'm not sure if you can see the camera very well from where you are, but you're going to pull the elbows back, bending down so that they hover over the mat. You're not coming all the way down. Then we're just lifting back up. So a little tricep dip. Now, if tricep dips are your jam and you do them all the time, then you might lift your hips and do them from here, but we are staying on the mat today and just leaning back and pushing up. Now we're going to do a few of them. So we're at 8 now. 9 if you were doing them the whole time I was talking. Good. Another round of 10. Here we go. You can move a little faster than me or a little slower. With this movement, it's not necessary to go super slow. That's 5 for me. I'm not going to count them all out. 7, but I will count a little. 8. Good, just 2 more here, and then we're going to do one more round of 10. So here we go. This is 10. Nice. 9. By now you should be feeling it. With these movements that we do, we don't have a lot of resistance. You have to do kind of a few of them to get things fired up. There we go. We've got 4 more. Believe it or not, I was counting. 3, 2. Nice. Last one. Good. Let's go ahead and lower all the way down on the mat and bring your arms overhead. Grab opposite wrists and let them melt onto the mat overhead. Nice. All right, from here, I want you to stack your knees over your hips. You can keep your hands up above if that feels good, or if you need a little bit more support, you can bring your hands down by your side. I think I like them up here. All right, so this one's called Dead Bug. It's actually half a dead bug. And we're just going to lower the right toe. So you're keeping that bend in the knee and just tap that right toe to the mat. Bring it back to tabletop. And then left leg taps. So the toe taps. Tap. Nice. So the belly is pushing towards the mat. Good, and the knees stay bent. This is another one. You're going to start to feel it in the legs. You're going to start to feel it in the hips. It's definitely the core. I want you to pull belly button into the spine. Good, we have 5 more. 4. Beautiful. Last 3. Good. And then we are done here. Last one, last side. Pull those knees in, give them a nice hug. We did our arms, we did our core, we got some back. Good, rock and roll a little side to side. And now we get to stretch it all out. So let's go ahead and extend the legs nice and long. Right leg reaches forward, left leg reaches forward. Reach overhead, and then walk the feet over towards the left side of the mat. And then the arms over towards the left side of the mat. Keep your shoulders both pressing into the mat and feel that stretch all along the right side. Let's go the opposite way. Right foot over, right arm over. Back through center. Back through center. Bring those feet back to the mat. Lift the hips up. Reach the tailbone nice and long. Put the hips back down, crossing the right leg over the left. Reach through the hole in the leg and grab onto the shin. Let's take a nice deep stretch. So because we worked our muscles really, really hard today, and we got them nice and warm, although they were probably warm to begin with, we're going to get a nice deep stretch here. So flex your foot so that your toes come back. I want you to engage through those, the feet. So you're flexing the right foot so it comes back towards the knee to keep your knee safe. And then from there, you can start to work that shin a little bit closer to you until you find your stretch that feels amazing. Let's go ahead and release that back to the mat. Let's switch over, second side. Cross the leg, reach through, grab on. So if the shin is too far for you to get, just interlace your fingers behind your thigh. Otherwise, you're grabbing in front. And rocking and rolling a little side to side. Keep that foot flexed. The bottom foot can do whatever you like, but that one that's crossed is flexed. Beautiful. Go ahead and release, unwind, unravel. Let's find our way into a nice gentle bridge. Feet are underneath the knees, even with the hips. Squeeze those thighs in towards each other, but they're probably not going to touch. We don't actually want them to touch. We want there to be a little space, but I want you to light up the outside of those legs first. Once you light up the outside, then peel the hips off the mat. It changes this move a little bit when you do that. So pressing up and then walking your hands underneath until you come to the outsides of the arms, interlacing the fingers and pressing those hands down towards the mat. Most of us, this is enough. You can play around with lifting your toes, or your heels, I mean, or keeping your feet planted, maybe playing around with lifting one foot up and then the other foot up. It's your practice. You can play with it how you like. Go ahead and release the hands and come all the way down. So if you have any other moves that are really calling to you that you'd like to try, you can go ahead and do those. Otherwise, heading towards your final resting shape, your Shavasana shape, your corpse pose, letting your feet reach down towards the corner and then flopping open. Let your arms be down by your side and close your eyes. So as we come into this shape, to begin with, we're just going to work on our breath. Finding your way into an even breath. The inhale and the exhale are the same amount of length. So you're inhaling the exact amount of air that you're exhaling. Do 3 more just like that. Now we're going to exhale longer than we inhale. So counting the beats of the inhale, perhaps 3 or 4. For most adults, somewhere between 4 and 7 is normal. And how quick you count. And then once you get to the top of that inhale, you can't possibly breathe in any more than exhale 1 count longer than the inhale. Squeezing out that last little bit. Now we're going to do 3 rounds exactly like that, 3 more rounds exactly like that. Inhaling until you can't possibly inhale anymore. And then exhaling a little bit longer than that inhale. There's always a little bit of oxygen that never leaves the little alveoli of the lungs. So if you can squeeze that last little bit out, it makes room for new air to come in. And it's just really good conditioning for the lungs, the cardiovascular system. And then eventually work your way into your Shavasana. You're just breathing how you will breathe. Your eyes are closed. You're not paying attention to anything at all. Just be present. We have several moments in this shape. Beginning to add gradual movement to fingers and toes. Working your way towards one side or the other and pausing there. Using your hands to help you coming back to any seat that feels comfortable. Take your time getting there. Move with intention. Move with purpose. When you find your way to your seat, you can let your fingers rest or your hands rest on your knees. You can bring your fingers together in prayer in front of you and by your head, however it feels good. We're going to spend several moments here just feeling how we feel now. So notice your mood. How do you feel? Perhaps checking in with your stress level. How is that? How do you feel physically now that you've completed a strong practice? And then just hanging on to these feelings, hanging on to the sensations of how it is now after your practice. And keeping that in mind for the next time so that you're looking forward to your next practice. Not just checking it off as something to do. Hoping that your exercise, whatever it is that you're doing, is something that calls to you, something that nourishes your soul, and not just another chore to be checked off. Bringing hands to heart center if you choose, maybe bowing your head if you like. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. Have a fabulous weekend, ladies. Namaste.